This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Hopefully you're doing well. As we talked about yesterday, the celebration that was taking profits going into what is now not looking so much like a red wave, but we'll see. There's still some outcomes that have yet to be determined. Either way, best to take profits into the unknowns. Well, you've got another unknown, CPI tomorrow morning. If you had any questions, suggestions, thoughts beforehand, hopefully you reached out personally. Have cash, have some trades. Any trade I have is not short term at all, has at least 10 days of time in it. Interesting to watch the put call ratio today. Interesting to watch JP Morgan call it for a 5 or 6% drop. And then the market, and then all the puts get loaded into the market as an operator. A lot of sneaky stuff. The CPI tomorrow as expected. What does it come in at? We don't know. I mean, we know with approximation, but we don't know the reaction. That is always the hardest part. So if you took profits, you set stops, you did whatever you needed to do to put yourself in what I would consider neutral mode, congratulations. That's what you should have done. That's the play. You can have some long, you could have some short. I mean, whatever you really wanted. I personally don't believe much in the short near term, but it made sense. If you have some, I mean, I've got some. I mean, we talked about NDAQ. Let's get into the charts. Let's dig deep into it. Again, if you're newer to the channel, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. It'll benefit you because when I do live chats, you come jump in and chat. I appreciate all the love, the support, donations. Again, it's much appreciated. Not necessary, but when the student's ready, the teacher appears, you're saving a ton of money on the education by just hanging out. They say you are the equivalent to the people you hang out with. That is always true. That is always true. Hopefully, if you're hanging out with us, you're picking up some knowledge. Also, check out Twitter. Posting my thoughts, posting what I see going on. Some interesting stuff today. We'll see how tomorrow plays out. But on that note, I think as of right now, if you are completely long into the market, or completely short, you are rolling the dice a little too aggressively, in my opinion. Yeah, be safe out there. Tomorrow is another day, but be aware, next week, options expiration. Tons of puts out there. Tons of puts. I'm usually, for me, it's Bitcoin, dollar. Where are you at? Bitcoin, dollar. So annoying that there's so many of these. Do I have it through Bitcoin USD? Man, I have so many of these things. I apologize. Stock. You can't draw on all of them, right? I don't think I have Bitcoin futures. Nope. Oh, man, this is brutal. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Bear with me. I apologize. I'll figure this out. What Bitcoin pair do I have it with? Do we have it through futures? Do we have it through stock? No. No. Where's the Bitcoin dollar? There we go. Here it is. All right. What have we said sounds like broken record. If you were going to break out, you needed to break out and keep going. Well, I thought this was rather weird how there was a headline last week that the Fed seized $3.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. I think it was Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Crypto, whatever you want to. Let's just call it what it is. Some sort of crypto move, right? The Fed seized it. Are they now unloading it? Are they creating this move? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, I don't think anybody would at any point with this kind of stuff. If you had to use stops, great. I mean, sometimes the best thing is to take the stop because you don't know if this is going much lower. My personal opinion, I don't know. I've told y'all I've stayed away from this stuff. It's been stuck for months. If you traded it, congrats. Traded around it, congrats. If you got stuck in it, I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, it's just, man, listen, 3 days all wiped out. Ominous to the market. We'll see. Oil. On my intraday stuff. This today started purchasing back some oil stuff. Went much lower by the close than I thought. Not surprised that it broke this trend line near term. All the diesel issues. I mean, you got tons of stuff here. Closed right at which I would consider probably where your stop should be. That's why it was hard to do much into the close, because you can see there's a ton of action that comes into play around 85, 86. Hurricane coming into Florida, diesel shortages, cold weather. I mean, again, we know all the headlines. We don't know the reaction. This is where the key, in my opinion, is holding this area. If you're buying this stuff, please have patience. Do not buy weeklies. Don't get stupid. And when I say stupid, like get too quick, too fast, too furious. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be smart. I don't know how to say that without saying it, right? What is my man? I'm like losing my mind here. What is my nat gas? NG, right? NG. There's so many damn ticker symbols. Oh, I know what I've been doing. I apologize. I'll do this. The ones that I've been hitting. There you go. The continuous front month. NG today. Bought some today, as y'all know. Same thing. Holding this, I would say, sub 6 area, and it rallied back. Good to see. Tough to know that this is a pretty big move. If you check the intraday action, now again, remember this is the front month contract. It got a little, I mean, you could see, oh, man, I cannot drive today. You've been drinking and driving? That's dangerous, boy. You saw it overnight. That was pretty interesting. Maybe that wasn't overnight. Is that PM? I can't remember. I don't remember how the trading view, what is this? It's showing UTC time zone. Okay, whatever. Point being is this drop and then chop and then closing near the highs. You got a little bit of head and shoulders pattern. We'll see. I like UNG to trade around it. Nat gas, oil, all the stuff. I mean, I was having this conversation with a buddy earlier today. Like, this market is just meant to be traded. If you're not trading it, yeah, you're getting whipsawed. If you're trying to buy and hold anything, you're struggling. I get it. That's why you trade around the position. You manage your core. It works for all markets, I promise. Dollar bill, y'all. Why can't I find... Man, I'm just struggling today. A little tired, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. Channel lows bounced. We talked about this. Now, here we go. Now I want to talk about some of this. Like, we talked about potential weakness coming, hence profit taking going into this. Well, look what's playing out, right? Little pop. Okay. Volume's light. We'll see what happens. I mean, at this point, I'm not that excited about the dollar. I've said I think you still get back down to the 100-day minimum, maybe 29. Check out the monthly. It is massive. Massive support here. Can you see on the monthly? Can you see on the monthly? It's the top there. I mean, here, I'll draw it just so you can't miss it. There you go. That's all I'm saying on the dollar. I think it comes back. Those points will act like tractor beams. Tractor beams. Bzz. TLT. Somebody was lying today. And when I say somebody is lying, I'm saying, like, what is going on? If CPI is going to be hot, why are bonds starting to rise? Like, why are bonds getting bought? That doesn't make sense. Again, the bond market, pricing in recession starting. I mean, it's already started. Deflation? Well, yeah, I mean, I guess based on oil and gas, some of the names today, that makes sense. Just very curious. Very curious to see how this continues on. SPY. Watching the last 10 minutes. I'm always a big fan of the 10 minutes. Talked about JP Morgan puts out this note that there's probably a 6% drop if CPI comes up above 8.4% or something. I can't remember what exact the headline. I was like, man, they have no fiduciary responsibility, but I guarantee they're selling a lot of puts, and somebody was using the liquidity into the close like I thought to cover. That is not selling. That, to me, at worst, is what I would consider short covering. Now, how that plays out tomorrow, I don't know. But look at the volume. Pretty high. Pretty high. Now, this is all like Fed stuff. Remember, that was the Fed day. Pretty high. We'll see what happens. I I personally believe that they are going to probably defend the 370.5 area. Now, perfection, I hate when people are like, oh, it's closed at 370.14, 74.19. It broke. Okay, you've seen, if you trade this long enough, you remember specifics when it goes a little lower, a little higher. Oh, goes a little bit, goes a little temporary. Just keep that in mind. We don't know. We're right on the cusp, though. QQQ, man, dead money. Broke below what I thought needed to hold. All right, you're right back. This is where it's hard. You're not breaking lows. You're in the chop cycle. You can be bearish, but I think you need to take out the lows. You got to take out the lows. That's how you get confirmation. We'll see. I mean, because the trend could be chop. I mean, let me just remind people of what I mean by chop. Like, it could be just choppy, sloppy, and to build a base to go up, I don't know. I think tax loss selling is going to keep people from coming back to tech. IWM, not excited about it today. Don't like this little gap down. I know we're still around 175. Said that's always really important area. I mean, you're closer to the Fed lows than you should be, I think, at this point. I'm trying to remember what the SPY Fed lows exactly were. Okay, I mean, you're a little higher. Watch the IWM. We talk about it leading. Gotta start catching some bids here. You could draw trend lines. You could draw all sorts of stuff to try to confirm, like, oh, what's going to happen next? I don't think you just shouldn't. You don't want to see a lower low. You don't want to. You're very close. Here is the problem with the market, and this is how I see might play games in the morning. I could see it gapping down and then rallying right back. Remember, the first direction in a trap is the side getting trapped. That's why this action today feels, in my mind, very difficult to predict. Very hard to predict. When I say hard, because you're getting to these points where it could go either way. Right? Either way. Don't know. We'll see. Gold sold some here at the 100-day. Said, wait for it. Got it. Took some off. Raise your stops. We'll see. I mean, could it get up to 161s? I don't know. Could it flop? This is why trading around your position is crucial. Nothing really else to say on it. Silver. Hit your 200-day, 2-day range. Top of this little zone here. We'll see what happens. Back off, or is it going to go? Probably more than likely going to back off, but who knows? GDXJ or GDX. This one made a slightly higher high today. Need more information. Now, again, remember, the miners will hold up better if the market holds up. And vice versa. GDXJ gets above. Didn't get to our target. Got a professional gap. I mean, keep in mind that the first dip should get bought after a professional gap if it is going to confirm. It should. And when I say first dip, like, here was, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think I wouldn't really consider that one. I'm trying to think of like a better, here you go. And even with less volume, here it dipped and then rallied back. Keep that in mind. First dip should get bought. Should. Okay, keywords. Should, not guaranteed. Should. AG. Got up into the, 200-day? Yeah. Backed off? Okay. I mean, I still think I can get up into the 1050 area. We'll see. AEM. Get up to the range. High. Failing. Again, I don't like the deal they're doing with Yamana Gold. Yamana. Don't like it. Newmont. This is such a dog. I don't know. PAAS. Here you go. This is why I don't like it. This is not good. You don't want to see this. They're using stock. A little bit of cash. Financing. I mean, market doesn't like it, clearly. That's all I can say based on the action. AMD. Chopping. 20-day. Pulled back. Got to hold it. NVIDIA. Man, this is tough. This is a professional gap start of the down move. Man, volume is not big, though. This is where it gets a little confusing. Now, remember, we talked about volume to confirm action. You should be thankful if you have cash and you have something on the sidelines and you're unsure. Because these are the moments where opportunity can be provided and you can take advantage of it, or you sidestep some danger. I don't know. This is tough. 8 days should hold. If not, you come right back to 130. SMH. For those who bought Soxus yesterday at like what, 48 or something, 49, I can't remember. Congrats. Talked about getting to the zone. Doji. This gap down on light volume is a little. Again, we need more volume, but could it start into the volume train? It's always possible. At the 50-day, over the 28, this is my problem. Is it going to play like this? I don't know. Don't know. Manage the trade. Remember, the first entry is not the time to buy. Load up on short-dated puts or aggressiveness. It's to layer in with stock, maybe long-dated in-the-money puts. Just in case you're wrong, you have more, I guess what I would consider leeway, because if you buy out of the money and they deteriorate, you have no chance. No chance they ever get back to even. Man, a little tired. Adobe, pretty tight action. Can't really say. Bullish, bearish, 20-day, not ideal. 50-day, acting like resistance. We'll see what happens. Apple, aren't you glad you don't own tech? Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad? Oh, who told you not to own tech? Man, I really dodged a bullet here. Really wanted to buy some Apple on the back dip after earnings. Thank God it didn't. You're back near the October lows. The volume, hard to say. Again, this is where tech is real hard. There's only one tech name I like. I bought some of it today. Down a little bit on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Amazon, man, this thing can't even catch a bid. I don't even know what to say. I mean, if you own this stuff, you're coming into the 100-month right here at 85. It better hold. It better hold. CRM, I mean, this is why we're shorting the NDAQ, guys. I hope you see this. It's like these stocks are dead. The volumes are going to die. People, once they capitulate, no one's buying these things. Momentum will be lost. CRM, it's tough. I don't even know what to say. It's got to hold. I mean, I'm saying the same thing. They look like they're hanging on a prayer. I don't like these upper left, lower right stocks. Like upper left, because you're playing, you're trying to fight the trend. Goog held the channel lows. Tough. Meta, all right, layoffs, good for the business. Remember we talked about the headlines can be used for what? Market makers to unload, cover the shorts, liquidity. Well, that's clearly happening here. You know, if they were short, they've been trying to look like uncover some. Question, how high, how much volume can they get before they reshort? Or is it only a partial cover? I don't know. Did they also possibly absorb some shares from earnings that they want to unload? You can bet your ass they did, for sure. And look at that action. So, going forward, at this point, I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. These are so hard to predict. Your layoffs a good thing. Layoffs a bad thing. No earnings growth. No future prospects of ramping up. No demand. I don't know. Microsoft doesn't like when the dollar rises. Clearly it popped today. Then flopped as the dollar rose, closed at the low of the day. Not surprised. This is hard. I mean, people want like straight answers. And I'm always like laughing at people because they're like, tell me what's going to happen next. And sometimes this is what you realize. You don't know. You don't know. That's where people FOMO and overtrading gets you in trouble, because you're always trying to be right. And sometimes when you're always trying to be right, you're going to just be dead wrong. You're just going to be dead wrong. NDAQ, yeah, talked about it, getting the pump yesterday, got some upgrades today. Buddy pass. This doesn't necessarily have to tank the whole market, but I think this thing could go, yeah, it's going to go lower. I talked about after in the last tech bubble. I mean, the stock dropped like 50, 60. No, sorry. The IPO to, remember there's some splits in here. IPO to what? 5 at 2002, and then was dead money until it got down to like $1 and change. I think that's a huge drop, even after the IPO during a crappy time. In 2002. I mean, imagine if that stock traded during the 2000s. Yikes. Now you're on the daily. Sorry, I was like observing. Monthly, yeah, this is an area. This is an area. keep an eye on it. Set your stops if you must. What was that, a 3-for-2 split? 3-for-1. Oh. We always talk about sometimes splits being the death nail. Death nail. But look what it did. Dropped, came back. Now people are getting back to even. Oh, my God. I mean, this stock could do its own thing. Could absolutely do its own thing as Nasdaq goes into what I would consider oblivion. No one's going to care about it. No one's going to be trading tech stocks one day. You're going to see. Watch. They're going to be completely oblivious. MicroStrategy, I don't know. Are they going to get margin called? People want to buy this dip. I don't know much about crypto markets in the sense of I mean I can't know everything about every market. I mean you had to know that once it broke 200, it was probably game over. This volume is growing. Unless something happens overnight, I mean you could be back at 145 ASAP. Netflix, like this one, because we're at the upside target zone. The old upside target zone, well now you're over it. First dip should get bought. Right? First dip should get bought. Could it get back to 250? Absolutely. But I'm watching the upper 250s. I'm usually a little early. If this was the bottom, high or low, not too bad. Keep in mind, like look at some of these other stocks. Like the stock is lower left, upper right since the bottom. This is a trend. Will it fill this gap at some point? I don't know. Got some options. Defined my risk. I can't really lose other than what I have with options wise. I got some time. We'll see. We will see. This area has to hold, and maybe the 50-day curling. Again, give it time. Know your stops. Roblox earnings today. Again, how'd they lose money last quarter? I don't know. Tons of revenue, but still losing money. Tech. I mean, this one at some point, the whole recap will have no tech. I mean, Roblox, you're about to get cut. I mean, I think they should get bought out because of what they have as an infrastructure that can lead to growth if used correctly. Meaning, like a big company, like say Microsoft, for example, if they integrated this in to their platforms, probably be easy to save a ton of money, and they get tons of eyeballs. You probably could run an advertisement for every kid on Microsoft Word, Excel, all their little programs. Yikes. Tesla, Elon selling stock. We told you to stay away from this in November. Said there was a trade here. Took it. Got out. Some people did. I got stopped out and it went higher. This is ugly. Just be aware that typically after bad news comes good news. I don't know what the good news could be. No clue. But it's just look out below. Is this capitulatory? We'll see how that gap reacts tomorrow. You're welcome if you stayed out of tech. I mean, let's get out of here. Oh, God, I just feel dirty. Need a shower. U.S. Steel hit the range highs. Again, if you took profit yesterday, sweet. You can start buying back some. Hit you stops, whatever you think. But looks way better. Way, way, way better. Nucor. Talked about it like this better in the sense of it has more upside if steel starts moving. Like point-wise, not maybe necessarily percentage, but just consolidating. Doesn't look like the world is ending. VALE, tough to know. Post-election, they've got issues. 4 days tight. I mean, doesn't look terrible. Maybe not. I'm not trading it, but just noticing commodities. Arrow, maybe a lower high, but man, held channel lows, gapped up. Consolidation. Look, today's volume was not that big. CCJ, I mean, we like uranium long-term, but it's tough with their way, what they're doing with their company. I don't know how the stock is going to act until everything closes on their Westinghouse deal. I don't know all the details, so don't quote me on any of it. But again, if we talked about yesterday, if you took profits and now it's down, whatever, $2 from the high, $1.50, you're not complaining. CF, man, what a trading stock. Put out the warning, said watch out for 108, 109, 110. Sold a little bit up there. Buying back some. I mean, sadly bought some even at 106 down to the 20-day. Just nibbling, trading the trading stock. I mean, this thing is awesome. You get points every day. Mosaic, not what you really want to see, but light volume fills the gap. Oof. Stuck. Maybe they're having. I mean, remember they're in Florida hurricane coming. Maybe they're in the path. NTR, talked about it. If you got up to 78, congrats. I mean, I didn't buy any of this on the dip today. It looks intriguing. See what happens at 74s. Aaron. Man, tried to scoop some of this at the 50-day. Nah. Tried to scoop this at the 2-day low. Little bit. We'll see. Again, if you sold some yesterday, hot damn, congrats. I mean, I had a lot of this yesterday. Sold it near the close at the high of the day. Wasn't complaining. Backing off today. Stepping back in partially. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I like commodities. We like the big boy who stopped the down move. The man, no, we don't know if it's a man, woman, entity that stopped the down move. XBI, thankful again, I stopped out of this. Just didn't like the way it was acting. Back down to the range lows, keep an eye on it. XLF, said the market's not going to tank if the financials are holding up. I mean, today's action, yeah, I mean, you could argue Rubber Band Man getting a little tired. That potentially could be a double top. Just keep that in mind. Like, again, the evidence is starting to look a little more bearish, but it could all be invalidated tomorrow, or it could all be confirmed. This is where it's getting harder. Morgan Stanley hits the 200-day, backs off. I mean, you're gonna have to know. You got to see what happens here when it filled this gap area. 82s are gonna be very important. Chase, JP Morgan, you guys are scummy. And not necessarily the people that work there, but just the management putting out their notes about things that they've just totally misled their clients or the market on. Remember at the lows, they called for a 20% crash in the market. Stock rallies 30%. Now they're talking about need to buy puts. Who's probably selling a lot of puts? These guys. Especially the near-dated ones. Jeez, tons of them. Absolute tons of them. We'll see what happens. I would personally, again, I don't think I would want to short financials just yet. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to the top probably next week. Again, we'll see. TAN, solar held up. Hopefully you weren't shorting this stuff. The red wave, we talked about it. Oil and gas hold up. Maybe these hold up. Well, oil and gas didn't really hold up today, and these did. Yikes. ENPH holding up. Sedge, pretty wild day. Like 20 point pop and flop. Right to the 100-day. You need more data. This candle here is... Will the first dip get bought? That's what I'd be worried about. First solar, I mean, I got like 5 people hitting me up. Hey, did you short the pop down? I'm like, no. I mean, this doesn't look that bad considering the market, right? Like, I don't know. Is this all just based on the crypto mini dump? I mean, the red wave thought that the market might like that. Obviously got curtailed by election results, but correct me if I'm wrong, the Houses seems like it's going to be good for stalemates, and the Senate is very close to call. I haven't looked at it. Let me look at it real quick on my phone. As of right now, I think the Republicans... Now again, remember, we're not red or blue. We're green, the Green Party. Right now, what is the Senate? 48-49 Democrat to Republican with 3 Senate races in play. I mean, I think got the Georgia one. I can't remember which ones they are. That one's going to go to a runoff. What else? I can't. Man, why is this app not showing them? But there's 2 other races that yet to be called. I don't know what... I mean, solar... Definitely. Unless the Senate flips, I don't know if it's going to fall right away. I've said check the monthly out. There's a point of control of fib at 164. I'm going to be patient. It's like waiting for NDAQ, right? We talked about this stock. Being patient, waiting for the channel highs, waiting for maybe retest of the zone highs. Congrats. Maybe this is what First Solar needs to do. Like back up and then one more and then... I don't know why I switched to that, but yeah. Let's end it on oil. This is where it gets interesting again, right? Oil drops. Everyone's like, oh, your channel broke. Okay, well, technically, yes. Remember, this isn't really the stock. Like, we need to watch the oil. It's just back at, what are you talking about, 85, 86. All right, 20-day. We'll see what happens. UNG, I like today's action. You broke below the small little channel again. Here again, an example of a channel not being that important on a commodity ETF, such as ones that decay. It's not GLD, doesn't decay. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. A little different. Look at that. Opens near the lows, takes out the lows, rallies back. Now, I don't know for certain if that's the bottom, but I do like the volume in the action. Because remember, off the open, that tight doji, someone held that. And then obviously you sideways all the day, but you definitely didn't close at the low of the days. We talk about more information. Well, here's a more information candle. A lot of this is going to revolve around what happens tomorrow. XOP. People talk about buying the dip today. I was like, wait for the 20-day or watch what happens here at the range highs at 152, 153. Well, once that went, you had to expect it. And I said watch the 20 because here's the last time you had the gap down and then it flipped around. Look what happened. You went slightly lower. Is it a chop to flop? I mean, personally, I would not be buying the XOP on this first day down. And whoever, Drew, if you're listening, you did. You hope just stop out and be late. This is not something you want to be early on. You don't want to buy. If this is a professional gap and the market gets smoked, this is where it gets hard. Like, I don't know. The 20-day is key, but CPI is buying Gush, which, again, is a leverage version of this. It's tough. Now, again, you need oil to bottom. You need some things to play out, but if the market flops tomorrow, this thing could be right back at 145. Gush could be down what? I don't really ever follow Gush. I'm just looking at it. It could be back at 171. I don't know, depending on this, 165. I don't know. Hard to know. ExxonMobil. Again, if you took profits on stuff yesterday, high five. Now it pulls back. It needs to hold the 108, 109. At worst, the 20-day. Occidental down 10%. Someone's like, hey, look at that. Man, 50-day. Watch what happens. EQT. Again, natural gas been getting all over the place. This is why you got to trade this stuff. Back to the 20-day. All right, if you got questions, please reach out. Trying our best to keep people heads above water. Remember, trade. You got to trade this market. Buy and hold is not ideal. Trade around your core position when it feels weird. Take profits. When you're scared, you probably need to be taking dives in. Saying dives in means you probably need to be buying. See what happens to CPI tomorrow. Hit me up in the morning. If you have any questions, please be safe out there. The market could absolutely go either way big. And the reason why I could see either is because tons of puts outstanding, but then also and everyone's bearish. Market could rip back. Or the job stuff and the Fed stuff puts them in the pickle, and meaning if they got to continue to raise rates while unemployment is obviously going to pick up with all the job layoffs. Tough to know. That's why cash is king. Leveraging correctly, trading around your positions is the only way to survive this because you're not getting straight line moves. Now, some places you are for multiple days. We'll see. Be safe out there. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.